Hello, everyone. Welcome. Come on in. We see people joining. We'll just give everyone a minute to settle in, get comfy. In the chat, let us know where you're joining us from today. What industries do you represent? We'd love to know. So a few more minutes to let everyone to join. Today's a good topic. With Easter and other holidays coming up, I think it's so valuable. It's something that we all need just to get our head in the space for planning. Hey, Nafis, hello. I still see people joining, so just a few more minutes. Fantastic. Okay, let's be. So, welcome everyone again. Today we have a two-part series for you, and today we're covering part one in preparation for the holidays. So this is going to be applicable to any holidays coming up, but we have Mother's Day coming up in the US, we have Labor Day coming up in Europe, and I'm pretty confident you can still make it with Easter, applying all this knowledge. So the topics we're covering are very strategic, just planning for your campaigns. And in part one today, we're talking more about the back-end things that you can do before the holidays, like deliverability or just knowing what tools are available to you. Before next week, we're going to get into more the creative side of things, the creative strategy. And to help with that, I have two wonderful experts from Omnisend. So we have Desi, who is our Deliverability team lead. Desi, would you like to say hello?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Fantastic. And we also have Kristen, who is our Senior Customer Support Manager. She's been with Omnisend for 3.5 years now, so she's seen it all. She's seen the common mistakes, but also we have the best practices from all our customers. So very excited to share that with you. Kristen, would you like to say hello?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Amazing. A couple of things to know. So this session is being recorded. You will receive the recording in the email after. It's just going to take a few days. And then if you have any questions, there is a Q&A tab at the bottom of your screen. So drop your questions in there. We'll be able to see it and we'll try to answer those as well. So the agenda for today, we're going to talk about the common mistakes during the holiday season. As I said, we've seen so many cases, and we would like for you to learn from those mistakes and also prepare to the best of your ability. Then we're going to talk about how to allow your customers to opt out from the holiday emails as well. We're going to talk about the SMS and email strategy that you can employ for your campaigns, and also a not so secret tool to help you win big. Like once I learned that it exists, like I can't shut up about it. I'm like, it's so simple, but it's so good. So stay till the end for it. Okay, so that's the housekeeping. And Desi, up to you now.
Thanks a lot. So, just before this meeting, I was thinking about what will be a cool analogy for what the holiday season means for e-commerce marketers. And I think the Olympics is the best one that comes to my mind. Every brand is competing for attention, for place in the inbox, and all inboxes are flooded with messages during this time. And while we know that everyone makes mistakes, it's only human, here the stakes are really high. And since we've seen a lot of those mistakes in our experience, we are here to tell you what to avoid during this crucial time. Some of these mistakes might seem harmless, but can actually have a long-term effect on your sender reputation. And in the next slides, I will try to break them down to help you succeed with your holiday campaigns. Let's start with the first one, which is increasing send volume overnight. Imagine this. You've been sending around, let's say, 50K emails per campaign until now. And suddenly, for Mother's Day, you decide to send a campaign to all of your contacts. And this makes, let's say, 500K. So what do you think will happen? If you watched our previous webinar on the struggles with email deliverability and the most common reasons about emails landing in the spam folder, you probably remember that all mailbox providers don't like spiking in any shape or form. Of course, if you missed it, you still have chance to see it in our YouTube channel. But yeah, inbox providers don't like spikes, and if they see spikes, especially in the volume, they will consider that suspicious behavior. They will assume most probably that you are sending spam, and because of that, they will filter your messages in the spam folder instead of the inbox of your recipients. In some cases, they might even bounce them back with a specific error message. So instead of jumping from 50K to 500K one day to another, you should warm up the volume gradually prior the holidays. My suggestion here will be to don't go over 25-30% increase. That's the healthy, let's say, percentage. And it will tell the mailbox provider, hey, I'm the same trustworthy sender you already know. I'm just scaling up my volume because holiday season is coming up, and it won't be suspicious, and it won't harm your sender reputation in the long run. Now let's see the next common mistake we've seen during this time. It's really pretty similar to the previous one, but here instead of the volume, we'll be focusing on the engagement of our users. In 2025, the user engagement is the most important factor for inbox placement. That's just a fact. And the more positive engagement you generate, the better chances you have your emails to land in the inbox of your recipients. Sending to inactive subscribers is usually a huge risk, especially during this time. These contacts might have, let's say, abandoned their mailbox or switched to another mailbox provider, or they might be losing interest in the content you're sending, or they sometimes forgot that they subscribe to your content, which may cause even marking as spam, which is the worst that can happen to a sender. And this will definitely tank your sender reputation. And here I'm not saying you should not target inactives at all. No, it's absolutely okay to reach back to your more inactive segments, but you should do that very carefully. And my recommendation will be to do it long before the holiday season, like at least few months before that, so you have time to re-engage them and add them to your active segments for the holiday season. And something that I would like to remind here is that in most of the cases, the big portion of your revenue will come from your active recipients, active and engaged subscribers. And another thing and another perspective you should think about is that you cannot make money off of your active subscribers if your campaign is landing in the spam folder, because you're over targeting your inactives during this time. You need to always be very careful when you do that. In the previous webinar, I shared a few tactics you can use to perform re-engagement campaigns and introduce a healthy ratio of engaged versus unengaged in your marketing strategy. Again, I advise you to have a look if you missed that one. But in general, you should not forget about your less active context, but not over target them during the busiest and most important time of the year for you as a e-commerce marketer or marketer in general. Now let's see the next one. It's again related to deliverability. And here we'll talk about email frequency. So imagine this. You usually send a newsletter, let's say once a week. But now during the holidays, you decide you want to send 3 times a week or even every day. This, as I mentioned previously, mailbox providers don't like spikes. So sudden spike in the frequency is still spike and can be suspicious for the mailbox providers, but also can overwhelm your subscribers. And that's the bigger issue here. Even if your content is great, too many emails can cause what we call user fatigue. People might start ignoring your messages, unsubscribing, or again, worse, marking them as spam, which you do not want in any case. And I'm not saying you should never increase your frequency. I'm saying that you need to make sure you're being intentional when you do that and always provide value with each campaign you're sending. You should segment your audience, tailor your content, and make sure that each message feels relevant for your specific audience. And something you can always ask yourself when you send a campaign is this email worth my customers' time and inbox space? Because don't forget that it's not just you who is ramping up the volume. It's during this time in particular, it's everyone, every sender. This means that inboxes will be full of promotional emails, and it is indeed harder to stand out. And here I also want to mention that it's normal to experience a slight dip in your engagement rates, like slight lower open rates in general. That's normal. But your job is to stay relevant and, very important, respectful of your subscribers' attention. Okay, and then we have another one, again related to deliverability, and that is introducing a brand new sender domain right before the holidays. You might be thinking about switching to a new domain, for example, if you are rebranding, or some other reason I cannot think of at the moment. But holiday season, it's not the best time to do that in any case. You should not wait until the holiday rush to do it. A brand new domain needs time to establish a good reputation. It needs what we call a domain warm up. So the mailbox provider can get to know it and trust it. And if you start sending high volumes too soon from this new domain, your emails will most probably be flagged as spam and sent to the spam folder. The best practice here is to start warming up this new domain months before, like in advance, and gradually increase the volume over time while at the same time monitoring your engagement. And if you need help with that, you can always reach to our support team or to your account manager, and we'll help you with a tailored domain warm-up plan. So let's go to the campaign mistakes now. I've listed the 3 main ones we usually see during this time. First one is the lack of personalization. Something very interesting is that there is still this myth among marketers that there are spam triggering words. I want to emphasize on this one, there is no such thing in 2025. That's no longer the case. As long as your clients interact with your content, you can use whatever words you like. However, the anti-spam filters and algorithm these days are super sensitive towards generic content. The more generic your content is, the higher the chances of your email is to land in the spam folder. So the usual, hey customer, it doesn't work anymore. You should always tailor your content based on all the metadata you have for your clients. So user preferences, engagement data, geolocation, everything you can use to segment and better personalize your content. Just do it. It will give you really great results. Then Poor mobile optimization is another one. I was recently checking the stats on this one, and they show that in the last 2 years, over 50% of all messages, like all emails worldwide, are opened on a mobile device. What does this mean? It means that if your emails are not mobile friendly, you might be losing conversions, and you don't want to do that. So use our campaign builder. We have an option to test your design, how it will look on different devices. Don't forget to check that in advance. There might be some small adjustments you need to make, but this might be a game changer for you, so don't forget about that. And last one, related to campaigns content, that's the subject lines. As I mentioned earlier, during this time, mailboxes are flooded with emails from different kinds of senders. And if your subject line doesn't grab attention, uh, your email might not get opened at all. And this will give a negative signal to the mailbox providers that your recipients are not interested in your content. And my advice here will be to, because you never know how your users will react and to what kind of subject lines, test it before you send. You can test different styles, different lengths, different wording, whatever you can think of. Just test how your audience will react, and then use the subject line that will give you the best results. Now I want to go through some strategic mistakes that some senders are doing. And first one, it will be, of course, A/B testing or testing at all. You can test a lot of stuff with Omnisend. I advise you to always check subject lines, always check A/B test content, and also something very interesting that not many people are doing is to test different sending times, because different audiences are reacting differently to different sending times, and the best way to find out how your audience will react is to just test. That is all. Like, you can guess, but best thing is to test. um, Second one is plan your campaigns in advance. That will save you a lot of last minute mistakes. And not only that, but it will also give you the opportunity to ramp up the volume slowly, and to do some re-engagement campaigns and some more tests before the actual holiday campaigns. So not even weeks before, but maybe in some cases months before. You need to know when you will be sending, and have some idea about the content as well. And finally, after the peak season, you need to always analyze your performance and adjust your future strategy. Of course, it is okay to make mistakes, but the most important thing is to learn from them after all. Think about what worked for you this time, what did not work, and use it as a trial run for the next one, like the next holiday season, which hopefully will be even more successful. And we know that after this one, the next big one is Black Friday, Christmas holiday. So this is a great opportunity to actually practice and learn from your mistakes. And last thing I want to go through, as a quick recap, maybe I won't go into too many details. I want to give you a checklist for successful holiday campaigns. First one will be to check your performance, see where you are at now. You can go through your Omnisend reporting page. We have a breakdown of all destinations with the corresponding statistics. For example, Gmail, you send this amount of emails to Gmail in the last, let's say, 30 days, the open rate is this, the click rate is this, etc. And you have this breakdown for every of the email destinations you are targeting. And the first 10, I think, are displayed in the reporting page. And you can very easily spot there if you have some kind of issue with specific destination. If you see that the average open rate for you is, let's say, 50% overall for your entire audience, but you notice that for Gmail, the open rate is less than 20%, let's say, you can make an assumption that you have some reputation issue with this destination in particular. And this will save you a lot of time for troubleshooting, because you won't be wandering around thinking, okay, what's happening? You know, okay, I have problem with Gmail. I need to put all my efforts there and resolve this. Another very important thing is to monitor your domain reputation and spam rate in Google Postmaster tool. For me, that's becoming a standard these days. Like every sender, especially if the majority of your audience are Gmail recipients, needs to add their domain to Google Postmaster tools and start monitoring your domain reputation and your spam rate. And you need to aim for less than 0.3% maximum. The recommended spam rate is 0.1%. So my personal recommendation will be to aim for 0.1 and below always. Next one in the checklist is to clean and update your list. That's very important. Removing inactive contents regularly, implementing a sunset policy to get rid of clients who are no longer interested in your content, removing people who, we actually do that for you, the unsubscribe, spam, complaints and bounces, we do that for you. But it's still a good idea to look at your stats and see what's going on there as well. If you notice a suspicious pattern, it's always a good idea to reach out to us and see what might be happening behind. Next one is to implement proper segmentation and personalization. I already mentioned how important it is to tailor your content for your own audience and to not send generic content, because these days generic content might be causing spam foldering. So the more personalized content you send, the better chances you have of your email to land in the inbox of your recipients. And segmentation can be used with all the different data you have for your clients. As I mentioned, it can be geolocation, it can be engagement data, it can be preferences. If you're using a preference center for your opt-in form, yeah, just use everything you have. You won't regret it. Promise you. Okay, next one is to avoid spikes. I already talked about that a lot, but the best way to avoid spikes is to plan and schedule your campaigns in advance. So spend some time now to think about what you will be sending, and you should not have too many spikes happening during the busiest time of the year. Of course, we talked about this as well. A/B testing, you have a lot of possibilities in Omnisend to do that. Test everything you can think of. As I mentioned, subject line, sending times, content as well, different segments, how they will react to the content. And something very interesting I did not mention when I talked about the sending times. Um, we've heard from mailbox providers that they see a lot of traffic happening top of the hour and at the 15, 13, 45-minute marks. So these round numbers are, let's say, the busiest month for them. And what will bring you maybe higher chances to um, get your emails delivered to the inbox, even though that's not a deciding factor, but sending at random times might be better, might give you more success. So just schedule not at 3 o'clock, send it at 3:13 or something like that. Just make it random. And the last one is, of course, the post-holiday analysis. Check at your statistics, look at the results you got, look at the potential mistakes you did, and plan ahead so the next holiday season you will get even better results. And yeah, that was all from me. Thank you all for listening.
Oh, thank you, Desi. That was very helpful. I love that, everyone's going to get the recording of this as well. So you guys can just go through the checklist. I love that you shared all the tools that Omnisend has as well. So instead of just like panicking, like, where do I get the data? How do I check it? It's on your Omnisend account. It's all that. We've done the work for you. So I love the checklist. And something that like kept standing out to me is, keeping it relevant to your audience. Like it should be default anyway. And I know that sometimes as business owners or marketeers, we kind of want to, be trendy, or we see our competitors doing something and you're like, oh, we have to jump on this trend. But again, it's like, is it relevant? Is it what my audience interested in? I think it's, as we say, it's very important just to be relevant. And then we don't have to worry about spam words or other things, as long as people are interacting with it. So I absolutely love that. And you also mentioned subject lines, and we'll get back to that point because I think it's very important, and there's some really interesting things about it and what Omnisend can do for you to help with that. So Desi, thank you so much. Next up, we have Kristen.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for your time. Desi, that was some really excellent information. Definitely helpful for sure. I am going to talk about some tips on, actually, if we go to the next slide, allowing your customers to opt out. And this is not opting out from all your emails. This is a specific holiday that might not be so joyous for them. And you're just basically showing that you're caring for their feelings. And this actually helps create brand loyalty as well by allowing them to opt out of specific campaigns that promote holidays that might be painful for them. So what I'm going to do is walk you through the steps on how to do that. The first step you would do is create a landing page. And there's an example to the right where basically we're focusing on Mother's Day. You could do this for Father's Day, what other holidays you want to as well. You could do this in all one fell swoop. You could include multiple checkboxes underneath for other holidays as well. But for this one, we're focusing on Mother's Day because it's right around the corner. But once you create that landing page designed in our form builder to your liking, then you're going to basically create a tag or a custom property that once they do sign up, they'll be able to be identified. If you want to add a tag to the entire form, you would go to the behavior tab and then audience management, and then you can insert a specific tag you want. And there'll also be default tags as well that will be on there. But this will allow you to, like Desi spoke about segmentation, allow you to pull those contacts out, and we'll look at that in the next slide as well. And as far as adding the next step, once you enable that landing page, it's going to give you a link. From there, you're going to take that link and you're going to add it to the call to action button in your campaign that you're going to be sending out before your Mother's Day campaigns or whatever holidays are coming up. So you're going to be asking them in a campaign, hey, do you prefer to opt out of Mother's Day emails? Don't worry, we're going to be sending you other emails, just this one you won't be getting. So it shows that you are caring for your customers and helps build brand loyalty as well. Next slide. And this is an example of how you can segment that. You would go into the segmentation, create a new segment, and the tag for this particular one that we're looking at is Mother's Day _2023. I like to include the subscription status is subscribed to email for all my segments, even though Omnisend is not going to let you send to unsubscribed or non-subscribed campaign or contacts when you're sending a campaign. This just allows you to identify the accurate count it's actually going to. So if you just do tag is Mother's Day _2023 and you see a certain number, and then you go to the campaign and it's like, well, why did it only send to a portion of that? It's because the subscription status was not subscribed to email. So just keep that in mind when you're segmenting as well. But when you schedule it, you just exclude it. And here's an example of one of our customers that had the opt-out email. I think it's very heartfelt, and if somebody wants to opt out from it, it allows them to do it without opting out to all the emails. So you will continue to land in their inbox beyond that holiday as well. Now, another channel that is really helpful when connecting with your clients and generating revenue is going to be SMS. You can actually boost an email campaign with an SMS message if you so choose. I do have clients that prefer to send an SMS campaign to a specific SMS audience. And while you can do that, there are benefits of boosting an email with an SMS if you want to as well. And you can also choose to boost an email with an email as well. So you do have flexibility there. And we'll move on to the next slide here. A couple things that you need to be aware of when you are building the campaign and scheduling the booster. If you already sent the campaign and you try to go back and booster it and you have fewer than 100 contacts in that list, the booster will not be available. However, if you do set it up before sending the campaign, you can boost it if it's under 100, as long as you do it after it's already sent. And then something else to keep in mind, your campaign booster may get canceled if you don't have enough email or SMS credits, or if it exceeds your daily limit as well. And the campaign booster is scheduled and sent automatically. Once you go in and schedule it, there's nothing else you need to do. We'll go to the next slide. This is just an image of how you would schedule your booster in case you have not seen it or paid attention to it before. Under the review section, you can simply turn on booster. And after you toggle it to green, you'll have the option to choose email or SMS. We'll go to the next slide. If you decide to boost your campaign with SMS, it's the exact same process of creating the SMS as an SMS campaign. So you're starting from scratch. It's not going to automatically create an SMS message for you based on the email. What I recommend is creating an SMS message that highlights the points of what you're trying to get across. So if it's Mother's Day, for example, you can send a message out saying, check out, our top rated Mother's Day recommendation, or what's our most selling Mother's Day gift. Something along those lines, along with a link. And of course, it's always important to identify yourself as well. And then just make sure you have enough SMS credits to send the campaign as well. And we'll go to the next slide. Here you have a couple of options when it comes to the booster roles. You can choose sending a booster based on people that have not opened or have not clicked. And then you have the flexibility to choose the hour. It defaults to 48 hours, We feel that this is a best practice because by then it's pretty clear if they've opened and engaged with it or not. I have seen instances where clients will boost way too soon, like within a couple hours, and that can definitely overwhelm your contacts inbox. So I do not recommend that. But if you do want to scale it back a little bit, you can. But again, we do recommend 48 hours. And then if you do select, if your selected segments don't have any SMS subscribers, it will not be able to send as well. So just make sure whatever segment you choose, you know, if you're following along with Desi's practice on segmented engaged users, send more frequently to them. You can definitely build parameters of a segment of have they opted in recently, or have they clicked a message in the last 60 days, or have they purchased in the last 90 days. That's just an example of a segment I would build that I would feel comfortable boosting as well. And we'll go to the next slide. And I kind of already touched on the 48-hour gap as a default, and if you choose to send an SMS booster only when subscribers don't open or click your email instead of regular SMS campaigns, you are going to be more likely to spend fewer SMS credits. And I kind of spoke to this a little bit when I first started speaking about this topic, where I do have some clients that prefer to send to an engaged SMS segment separate from the email booster or an email campaign. But if you do have a built engaged segment based on particular criteria, then you could definitely spend fewer SMS credits boosting it with an SMS message instead of sending out to everybody that might have already engaged with your email. So you could just be, you know, using it a little bit more wisely, I guess. Go to the next slide. All right. And then, of course, if you do forget to boost it during the process, assuming you have over 100 contacts in that segment, you still have the opportunity to go back in within the next 46 hours after the initial campaign is sent. You would just hover over the three dots and choose boost campaign for that particular campaign, and it'll take you through that process. And then after enabling a campaign booster for your initial campaign, another campaign will be scheduled with a different subject line. It's important to change this so it doesn't look like you sent the same email twice. The content will be the same, but the campaign will start with booster of, and then you just tweak the subject line a bit. All right, next slide. And then, of course, if you see that a particular email is not performing very well and you don't want to boost it, let's say you sent it to a less engaged segment and you decide you want to go in and cancel it, you definitely can do that by just clicking the delete button once you go in to the boosted version. You can delete it as long as it has not moved to started sending status. Next slide. And this is an example of a Mother's Day MMS, and you'll see on the next slide why it's an MMS, because it does include a visual. You definitely do not have to include a visual in your SMS messages. I just really liked the visual appeal of this one, though. This was from last Mother's Day. This brand does a lot of things well. They identify themselves right away as day designer, and then it's a quick couple of sentences getting to the point, and then a link to the site or the URL page that they're promoting, and that link will track revenue and clicks. So while we can't track open rates with SMS or MMS, we can track clicks and we can track revenue. So if you don't have a clickable link in there, then we will not be able to track that data for you. And then, as always, it is recommended and best practice, and I think actually it's required to reply stopped to opt out, just so people understand that if they want to opt out, they can definitely do that as well, just by replying stop. And this is something going back to testing your subject line. We'll go on to the next slide. This is our Omnisend email subject line tester. This is available to all our customers, and it's on our site, and we'll link that for you too in this presentation. But you can simply, whatever subject line you are going to use, you type it in and hit test now. If you do want specific categories, you have the option down below, like Mother's Day, for example, where if you don't really have a subject line and you just kind of want to see what's recommended, after clicking Mother's Day, and it will generate some high performing Mother's Day subject lines. The subject line you do enter, once you hit test now, it will give you a grade, 1 out of 100, and it will give you feedback. It will tell you the good, maybe not the bad, but stuff that you could improve, or chances that if you fix something, it's more likely to lead to an open and not just getting looked over or deleted. So I highly recommend this email subject line tester. Once you start utilizing it, you'll be really quick to start automatically changing how you used your subject line headers based on the feedback you're getting. So definitely recommend that. It's a quick, easy way to quickly improve your subject lines. And I think that's it for me.
Awesome. Thank you, Kristen. I was listening to this and I was like, if that's like one thing that you're going to change this campaign and you've never tried it before, I think like this could be it, you know? Yeah. And I have a question for you, just kind of thinking from the perspective of people who are listening. Let's say I'm a small business owner. I have these campaigns like Easter, Mother's Day, everything's happening. And I'm like so excited about this feature. And now you're telling me I have to learn everything about SMS. Like, what do I do? Like, how do I approach this?
Well, as far as SMS goes, I recommend, if you've never used SMS before, what I always recommend to my customers is start small. Let's start implementing it with automations. You have to obviously change your form to collect SMS numbers if you haven't done it before, but just implementing an SMS welcome message in your workflow, in your welcome workflow, will generate revenue for you. Adding it into your abandoned cart, abandoned checkout. I've even had some customers have great success with it with product abandonment. So, I think automation is a great way to get started with it, but we do have a lot of resources. You can always reach out to support, or if you do have a customer success manager, you can reach out to them. They're more than happy to help you as well. But the key things is just identify yourself first and foremost in the message, have a trackable link, reply to stopped out, and just start small, and it'll definitely generate a lot of revenue for you before you know it.
I love it. Starting small. And as we were talking about it, I wanted to remind you guys that at the end of April, we do have a webinar on SMS. And together, we will send your first SMS. You'll understand how to do it, how to implement it in your automations, because people always check their phones. So, it's an opportunity you do not want to miss. And again, like when you were sharing these things, and I love that, Omnisend took care of everything. We use the best practices. So if something is preset and you're unsure, it's not like we're guessing. Like, we have the data, we have the best practices. Again, we learn from successful campaigns. We learn from the repeating mistakes. So we've done the work for you. Like, you just need to decide. And again, as Kristen said, we do have an amazing support team. So if you don't have a dedicated customer success manager, just drop us a line. We don't discriminate. No matter what account you're on, we're here for you. Awesome. I think this is like so much value in this. And if I was getting ready for Mother's Day campaign, try some of these things for Easter campaigns. Go through this checklist, see if it matches the best practices. You always have time to change it. Maybe you'll decide to experiment a little bit this Easter. Like if you're sending all the emails, maybe create a new segment that you want to try out. Try the subject line tester as well. Just do a little thing, and trust us, it will not take long because we know you're busy with other things. So again, we took care of everything for you. And next week on Tuesday, we have part 2 of this webinar, where we're going to talk more about the creative side of your campaigns, but how to stay structured as well, because it's very fun to create different campaigns. But as Desi said as well, like, is it relevant to your customer? Does it match your brand? How do we approach this? So yeah, thank you everyone for joining today. And we will see you next week. Kristen and Desi, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yes, thank you for having us. Very fun.
Bye.